Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Listen, rumor, an XRP backed stablecoin on Flare. If that's a DAI, a DAI style design, not a custodian IOU, it could lock hundreds of millions of XRP as collateral, shrink the tradable float, and force market makers to hold bigger XRP inventories for every quarter they quote. On the Flare side, every mint FLR token, every mint burn and liquidation pushes fees and gas through the chain, fuel for FLR stakers and delegators. That's a that's a collateral demand for XRP and fee flow for FLR, not just hype. We're going to get into it tonight to kind of see what these mechanics kind of think about it a little bit, what it's going to look like. That numbers that make this real and the three checks that decide if it holds collateral ratios, redeem at par guarantees, and FTSO Oracle safety. If this launches right, it's a flywheel. Let's get into it. Happy freaking Saturday to each and every one of you. Came across this post from the guys from Easy A, and I'm like, what the what? Saw the post, and then I guess maybe following day, maybe I see a comment from Hugo Philion, and I got to tell you, I was like, what? You know, he's been hitting. He's been hinting in these last two or three spaces. Hugo has. He keeps saying about CDPs, collateral debt positions. He's mentioned it a couple of times in each of these last X spaces. Let me share this post. We're going to get into it. Happy Saturday to each and every one of you. Listen, the market is doing what the market does. We'll go over the numbers. We'll do a little some of that because I think at the FLR token is doing its thing on the 7 day. We'll check the 30-day numbers as well. But last I checked, it's 2.4 cents. It's kind of, again, gradually doing this thing. So we'll cover that as well. I'll actually share the Flare token price with you guys as well. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button on the way in. That'd be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Definitely appreciate that for sure. A stable coin backed by XRP is being built on Flare networks. That concept, stablecoin backed by XRP. We've been talking about this for years. How awesome that the possibility of something like that. XRP being this collateral asset, supreme, superior asset for collateral. We've been talking about it for years, Pokey Pokey. And Hugo made a statement about it. I saw that statement today. Crypto Eddie reposted it as well. All right, so let me refresh CoinGecko for you, fam. So we can go over these numbers and we're going to check the Bitcoin dominance as well, because ain't nothing happening until that Bitcoin dominance begins to do what it do. All right, let me refresh this. I see currently 119 BTC price. I'm not sure if that's accurate. So I'm going to refresh, find out what tis good for you guys. Man, what an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that it's a digital asset space. Listen, my friends, you and I, we're playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we are winning in this new financial system, this new asset class. Come on, let's go. Let's do this refresh here. Is Bitcoin at 119? Let me see. Let's see. My wallet tends to update late. I don't think Bitcoin's 119. All right. This thing is let's do this. Refresh these numbers. I want to get you guys the right numbers, but the laptop's not cooperating. I think Bitcoin is 118. Come on already. I think it's doing it now. Yeah, I think Bitcoin's at 118. I really do. Uh, I think it's 118. But we'll get it. We'll cover those numbers for you. Let some more people check in. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button on the way in. That'd be awesome. Percentage change calculator. A couple of Caitlin Long posts. What's going on, Pay Me an XRP? How are you, my friend? Here in the counter for us, live from Kansas. Oh, how about that? Out here burning mouse. I hear you, bro. Pookie says CJ Flair will be in your 90%. Oh, I, I I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right. Guys, I appreciate you hitting that like button. That'd be really, really, really awesome. I appreciate you guys checking in. But this is big news. A stablecoin backed by XRP on Flare Networks. I believe that Flare Network, the layer one EVM blockchain, is further along in adding and bringing value to XRP holders. I really, really do. I really believe that with all in my heart of hearts. That's the deal there. Uh, Refreshing this CoinGecko because I want to get the right numbers. I want to check the Bitcoin dominance. There it is. All right, good. All right, so according to CoinGecko, oh, let me share the screen because I want to share FLR. I'm gonna pull FLR up here as well. Let more people check in. I'm seeing more and more posts, not financial advice. Please don't go do this. Please don't go do this. I'm seeing more and more posts of people talking about they sold their XRP for FLR. For me, that's risky. But all right, so we got it. All right, so according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is down 2.1% in the last 24 hours and is currently at $3.96 trillion. Bitcoin is trading at $118,000 again. Oh, man. On a 30-day, Bitcoin is up 10%. I remember sharing Bitcoin with family, friends, ex-coworkers at 600 bucks. 600. All right. So Ethereum is trading at $3,750 again. On the 30-day, Ethereum is up 54% on the 30-day. That's not bad. XRP is trading at $3.19. On the 30-day, XRP is up 50.4%. Solana is trading at $186 on the 30-day. It's up 31, nearly 32%. Dogecoin is trading at 23 cents, nearly 24 cents. And on the 30-day, Dogecoin is up 49.4%. So we, the beloved, look at this thing. Goodness gracious, it's just screaming. It's trading at $4.20 on a 30-day. It's up 62%. Stellar Lumens is just killing the game on the 30-day notes. It's up 87.7% on the 30-day. And it's trading at 44 cents. That is something right there. What do we got? 13 billion in the market cap. Hedera Hashgraph is up 102% on the 30. What's going on with the payment coins? Hedera Hashgraph is up 102% on the 30-day. HBAR. Look, again, we're in it for the return on investment. You know what I mean? We're in it for the return on investment. What is 13? What is 11 billion in market cap? Is that what do we have? We have low caps, mid cap. Is that a mid cap? 11 billion? I don't think so. I think 12 billion would be considered high cap, right? All right. So let me pull up FLR here real quick. Look at those numbers on the 30-day. And then we'll get into this post on X about a stablecoin backed by XRP on Flare Networks. Look at the chart there. See what's good. This is that's a nice chart. All right, let me look at the 1 month. Okay, look at that 1 month chart right there. Yeah, that's looking kind of sweet. 25% up on the year. 84% down from all-time high in 2023, which was 15 cents. January of 2023, which is interesting because that's after the 2021 deal. So there it is. I don't know, but it looks healthy to me. That looks like a healthy chart. Uh, Circulating supply, pretty good as well. Circulating in the total FDV. Yeah. So there it is, fam. That's the market, and the market is doing what the market does. Let me go over a couple other posts. Do I want to do that? No, let's go with this. Let's go with this post from Easy E, one of the guys over at Easy E, Easy A app. All right, so Phil from Easy A says, I've been thinking a stable coin, but backed by XRP equals the hardest money ever known. Now, when I first saw this post yesterday, Hugo hadn't responded to that. As far as I know, he responded today, this morning. And as Hugo said, he says, yes, with an exclamation point. It's already being built on Flare. It's already being built on Flare. Delighted to talk with you about it. We've been talking about this in the community for a minute, as the young kids like to say. Have we not, Pookie Pookie? We've been talking about this for a minute. Pay me an XRP. For a minute. Hugo, again, I'm telling you, this last couple of spaces, Hugo's been talking about the CDPs. He didn't really say what, but he mentioned CDP, collateral step positions. This is massive. Just ask ChatGPT, or as we like to say in the CryptoCeej's home, Chat PT. Right? I'm going to share what ChatGPT had to say about this. And I'm still thinking about anyone using Grok 4. Let me know if you guys are using Grok 4. I'm contemplating. I'm like, how many of these freaking how many of these AI things I'm going to have here? Like, goodness gracious. God, goodness gracious. What's going on, brother Crypto? How are you, man? Life is good. Kyle T. Moore is in the building. It's been a minute. Yes, sir. Appreciate you checking in. Happy Saturday to you, my guy. Brother Crypto says, man, I am really invested. I am really interested on how that will work if XRP drops below $1. Well, the stablecoin, the XRP is just backing the stable. It wouldn't be the only thing I would imagine, right? Because stablecoin is still going to be the treasuries, I would imagine. But that's a good question, brother Crypto, because this is something that Chat GPT also brought up. Also brought up. So we're going to get into that. I can't wait to get into that back and forth. A little bit of a back and forth with me and Chat GPT about this as well. Anyone let me know if you're using Grok V4, please. I'd have to upgrade from the Grok that we have. So I want to know. I'm hearing it's next level. I'm hearing Grok V4 is next level. It's beating Chat GPT's the O3 versions and the whole nine. So this is what I'm hearing. Please let me know if anyone is using it. Payment XRP said, I asked Hugo, was there any update on the audits? I remember you asking that. Inquiring minds want to know, but he ignored me per usual. I don't think I'm his favorite person. I don't know about that. I know he doesn't like to give dates, bro. I know you wanted an update. And I think they're gonna post on their community page the update on those audits. Pookie Pookie said, play ball this morning with these young guys. Man, nonstop running. Got some good cardio. Yeah, oh yeah. If you're doing full court, if you're talking about B-ball and you're doing full court, whew, yeah. Be careful, bro. Be careful. Don't be doing a bunch of leaping and stuff. Don't be doing a lot of leaping. Brother Crypto says, sounds like Flair is betting That is never going to happen again. Need more details on this for sure. Um, that's right. My report is I no longer trust but verify. That's right. So listen, if this is a reality, it's big. So I asked ChatGPT, kind of the thoughts on what this would look like. Because I actually said rumor. I didn't say Flare Networks is building something. I said rumor, even though Hugo stated that they were. Okay. Hugo stated that they were. They're building this out. Again, last 2 or 3 spaces, Hugo's talked about CDPs, collateral depositions, but he didn't expand on it. Or is it expound on it? All right. Oh, oh, hold on 1 second. Looks like someone's at the door. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, so he never expounded on it. So we want to cover it. Again, I asked ChatGPT from a rumor perspective, and I thought it was interesting that one of the first things that it said, Brother Crypto, is it depends on how it's built. Yeah, said it depends on how it's built. I find that to be interesting, fascinating that ChatGPT thought about that. All right, you guys want to let me share this. Hi, just back and forth here. Baby. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, let me get, again, just me a little back and forth for Chat GPT. I said there's rumor that a stablecoin backed by XRP is being built on Flare networks. If true, what's the value proposition for both FOR and XRP holders? Chat GPT 03 thought for it for about 9 seconds and said, short answer. If an FXRP backed stablecoin launches on Flare, the design can create direct mechanical demand for XRP as collateral and ongoing fee slant value flow for FLR as the execution slant settlement layer. The upside and risk depend on how it's built. I said, okay, likely design, who benefits and how. Over collateralized DAI, which is a stablecoin, DAI style stablecoin, using XRP or FFXRP as primary collateral, how that would work. Lock $200 of XRP to mint $100 of stablecoins, 200% CR collateral rate with an on-chain liquidation if CR falls. Value to XRP holders, collateral demand and lockup. Minting 100 million needs 200 million of XRP locked. At $1 per XRP, that's 200 million. 200 million XRP removed from central exchange books, 0.2% of supply. Less liquid float equals a stiffer order book. Yield paths, says ChatGPT. Yield paths without selling. Borrow stablecoins against XRP to fund DeFi or expenses. Keep XRP exposure. Base pair demand. Stablecoin, XRP pools, right? So stablecoin liquidity pair would be a stablecoin and XRP. On SparkDex and others, deepen liquidity, making XRP a more useful quote asset. Value to the FLR holders. Fee flow plus gas demand, right? Stability fees, e.g., 1 to 4% a year, plus a mint slant burn, plus liquidation auctions equals steady transactions, more FLR gas burned, and more FTSO data fees. Okay, protocol revenues, If the fees route to the protocol treasuries or stakers or agents, FLR staking and delegation yield can rise. TVL magnet. Large, safe, stable, more apps on Flare, higher chain usage. Risk the watch. Liquidation cascade and fast XRP drawdowns. Needs robust oracles and deep backstop liquidity. Clear, bad debt backstops. Insurance fund with a question mark. Now, I've heard Hugo and Firelight, I believe, as well, talk about this insurance stuff. You know, they mentioned insurance. I don't know what it's going to look like in terms of this insurance thing, but that has been mentioned in spaces as well. So clear bad debt backstop and audited liquidation bonds. B, reserve-backed T-bill stables on Flare, but not collateral by XRP. Value good for Flare activity, but minimal structure demand for XRP. All right. Delta hedged since synthetic USD. Nope. So why this can move the price if adoption is real? Interesting. The working capital effect. Market makers and mentors must hold XRP as inventory to keep collateral ratios healthy and to quote stable slant XRP pairs. As supply locks, incremental bids push price more. Fee burn plus velocity. Every mint, slant, burn, or swap pays FLR gas. Some designs route a slice to burn or to stakers, raising real yield for FLR and tightening tokenomics. The composability flywheel. A credible stable becomes the base unit for lending, liquidity pairs, strategy vaults, and payroll, compounding both XRP lock and FLR usage. That sounds really good to me. Let me see if some more people checked on before I continue on. So many people checked in. Keyless, Elated Crypto checked in. How are you, miss? Appreciate you being here on a Saturday. I know you guys could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Dirt, what does that say? Digital Dirt. What's up, man? Digital Dirt said Digital Dirt is asking, is Hugo referring to USDT 0? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not sure. Welcome to the stream. Anyone else checking? Rick Cisneros checked in as well. How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in, sir. No one in the DeFi space has insurance products. For sure, it is coming in the future. Keela says, haha, CJ, thanks for going live. Oh, absolutely. I couldn't wait to share this. Couldn't wait to share this with you guys. Guys, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash the like button for me, please. And come back and hang out with the CryptoCeej and family. All right, let me get back to Chat GPT here. It says here, quick sizing example. If supply grows to 500 million with a 200% collateral ratio, 1 billion of XRP must be locked. At $1 per XRP, 1 billion XRP out of liquid circulation equals 1% of the total supply. A 3% stability fee would throw 15 million per year in gross protocol revenue. Depending on tokenomics, that can support FLR stakers and agents and reinvest in liquidity. I'm loving the revenue model and the potential for revenue models for Flare, this layer 1 EVM blockchain. Really excited about that. Got a due diligence, actionable positioning. Well, due diligence, collateral and CR. Is XRP the primary collateral? So these are due diligence checklists, and these are things that we want to confirm. Is XRP the primary collateral? What's the minimum target for the CER, e.g. 175% or 250%? Redemption at par. Can you always redeem one stable for $1 of collateral minus fees? How fast? Liquidation engine, who runs it? Oracle design, fee routing, regulatory posture. These kind of questions, right? fee routing, do stability, slant, mint, burn, liquidation fees, go to FLR stakings and agents, right? So great stuff. Actionable positioning if slant when it launches. As an XRP holder, start conservatively, set auto repay alerts, and use the stable for yield or expenses without selling the XRP. LPA stable coin slant XRP pair to earn fees. Size small until the peg proves resilient. Don't chase the game. Let the game come to you. And I'm surprised by so many XRP holders who just can't seem to understand that. It's 1-2%, it's 3%, whatever. It's you starting small when we're talking about yield and DeFi. Starting small amounts. You test it out. Bottom line, says ChatGPT, if the rumor is a DAI stable style version, XRP collateralized, over collateralized with strong liquidations and FTSO oracles, then XRP gains from collateral lockups and base pair demand. And FLR gains from fee flow, gas burn, and higher staking economics. If it's merely a reserve stable issued on Flare, the win skews to FLR activity with only indirect benefits to XRP. The design details decide how big the flywheel gets. That's my little conversation with ChatGPT. So that was pretty cool. But again, this is something the community has been talking about and talking about and talking about and talking about for a while, right? And to hear Hugo actually say this in a freaking on a comment on X is awesome. Chris Farrell, what's going on, man? How are you? Are they waiting on if they are you saying I think they're waiting for that 5% mark before launching FXRP staking? Yeah, I don't know if it's a price deal. I know they want to certainly be sure, but you never know. You never know. So, I mean, this is big, man. This is big, 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 and a lot of freaking ways. This is a big deal. If they can, I mean, it's not if they're building it out. Now we just got to see, right? We just got to see what it's going to look like. Let me share the post again for those who might have missed it. This is the post right here. This Phil guy from Easy A. I've been thinking a stable coin, but backed by XRP equals the hardest money ever known. And Hugo said, yes, it's already being built on Flare. Just delighted to talk with you about it. Now, I know Flare Networks and Easy A just recently hooked up and has some stuff there done for Flare Networks as well. So I got to tell you, I'm excited to hear this is coming. I mean, for Hugo to confirm this, it's a big deal. And I think people sometimes forget, Keyless, that Flare Networks is a layer one blockchain. It's a layer one EVM blockchain on a mission, right, to unlock the massive liquidity in TVL, that is market cap of XRP, thus providing big time value value to XRP holders. Further along than any other chain, further along than any other project. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Now, the XRPL EVM sidechain is awesome. It's a sidechain. The asset is XRP, and that is awesome. And there are going to be projects building there for sure. But for me and my XRP, I'm going with the layer one that is further along in bringing value to XRP holders. And for me, that is, and my XRP, that is Flare Networks without question, right? You know, we're getting all these other things popping up. Just saw another thing popping up today. And again, they're trying to tap into that TVL, that market cap for XRP, right? And they're trying to tap into the community. It's low hanging fruit. It's low hanging fruit for sure. This XRP, this XRP, right? I say fruit a lot instead of fruit. right? So again, for me, and for me, who's the project in the blockchain that has been here since day one, continuing to build, continue to build, continue to build, with the major goal and focus of bringing value to XRP holders, and has delivered on that, right? I mean, obviously the XRPL is here, but it didn't unlock stuff for XRP holders, right? There's no smart contract capability there. It's very, very limited. But Flare Networks, this layer one EVM blockchain, is doing that. It's mission in a big way. Certainly, it's its primary focus. They started to unlock value to non-smart contract tokens like Bitcoin and XRP. That's the goal. That was their vision, and they're starting with this asset. They're starting with XRP, and I think we're blessed. I don't know. I don't think I know. We're blessed that that's the route that they've taken, and I'm excited, absolutely, about it for sure. I'm interested about how many people are really gonna. They say they're not gonna sell their XRP. They're going to, um, do the yield and all that stuff like that. So I'm really really interested to see what that's going to look like, what those numbers are going to look like, because I would love to see, you know, people participate in DeFi on Flare. I think it's an awesome place to get started. Again, I've been in so many other ecosystems, and Flare networks for early stage DeFi is just it's awesome, man. For early stage DeFi, I'm telling you, it is awesome. I've been around. I've been around the different ecosystems, and Flare it's awesome. And you don't have to be like a DeFi genius. You want to learn as much about DeFi as humanly possible. Are you kidding me? It's the new financial system. You want to learn it without question. When you can do so many transactions on Flare or this layer one for pennies on a dollar, I mean, it's like it's nothing. It's a great place to learn for sure. Absolutely. And I'm excited about teaching more people how to do DeFi, and specifically more people on how to teach people how to do DeFi on Flare networks. They got a nice flywheel over there in lending and borrowing and Kinetic. They got a nice Dexus like Enosis. My favorite for me is I love Enosis and Blaze Swap, but my favorite is SparkDex for sure. Um, it's really, really good. I think SparkDex is gonna. It, they're really they got a good sense for what they're doing. I can tell you that, and I'm getting um, Camino Finance vibes from them. I really am. Yeah, so smart people over there. I think Flair Ford did an interview with the team from SparkDex a couple of days ago. In a few weeks, I'm going to be starting the interviews and all the different things like that, and really honing in my focus. Because I think the colors over at Flair I'm going to look so good in those colors. I'm going to look so good, keyless. I'm going to look so good. Can't wait to get that gear and share. So, what's going on, B? How are you, bro? Chris says, yeah, text messed up. I think would be best for FLR if they wait until we break highs and go into price discovery while launching XRP staking. Yeah, I hear you, bro. So, yeah, it's feeling like the stable coin that they're going to do this with would be US dollar tether zero. This feels like that would make sense for sure. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to wearing the Flare Networks gear, getting that super that whatever color that is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. I just look, the thing for me that changed everything for me is watching Flare Networks and the team and the builders, watching them stick to that crypto ethos that was back in the day was supposed to mean everything in 2016, 2017, and that was true decentralization, true scalability, and true security. ridding ourselves of the middlemen as much as humanly possible, promoting self-custody, these things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I think it's important. I think it's a bigger important thing. You know, no shortcuts, doing it the right way, sticking to the ethos, even though it may be harder to do so. It may be harder to stick to true decentralization. It may be harder to stick to true scalability. It may be harder, but it's not impossible. Keela says, CJ, can you pin the old money doesn't want you to win, Merc? Yeah, I think I can. Pin the message. There it is. It's pinned. Thank you, Keyless. Appreciate that. Right. So think about that. A stable coin. It's probably going to be USDT zero. I don't know. Backed by XRP. That's going to be a massive deal. I'm hoping that people are really paying attention to what Flare Networks is doing and bringing value to these non-smart contract um, assets, starting with XRP. I hope people are really paying attention to that. And I hope people are really paying to. I mean, don't we want to get as close as possible to true decentralization? Don't we really want that? And remember Hugo's background is finance, and he knows that there's certain things that TradFi has in terms of tools and accessibilities, features, whatever, that we don't have here in DeFi, and he's wanting to bring those things here to DeFi, but do it sticking to that ethos, true decentralization, true scalability, and true security. Do you know what I mean? We don't want shortcuts. We don't want shortcuts. That's what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is taking shortcuts, right? We don't want the shortcuts. So it's interesting to see these prices. Let me share this very interesting thing with you guys. This post from Rand Paul earlier. This is another reason why I say, man, if you're not messing around with DeFi is the answer. What are you doing? You get a lot of people that are, get ready to getting ready to take profits and go back into the financial system that is hoodwinking and bamboozling them. Like, what are you talking about? I'm so mad at myself. I had to pay almost $60 in fees just to move to 3K. Like it was, what the world's going on right now? Just to get into, anyway. I was able to catch the drop a couple years ago and just sitting. Well, there's a lot of things going on with Flare Networks, bro. A lot of things, but we're talking about Hugo today stated that they're working on building a stable coin that is backed by XRP on Flare Networks. On Flare Networks. Let me share this post here, because just to remind people what the financial system really thinks about you out there. All right, let me share a screen. This is a little alarming. This is from Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky. I'm going to read it, and I think he says it in this video as well. The Fed, the Federal Reserve banking system, Federal Reserve banking system, has paid $188 billion to banks not to loan money. 40% of that is going to foreign banks. The Fed is paying banks, your bank, your regional banks, your local banks, not to loan. 40% of that is going to foreign banks. It's losing money while micromanaging rates. I explained why it's time to rethink the entire system. Think about that. This is a senator, so the Fed, Federal Reserve, right? So you gotta like I try to tell people all this all the time. The system is rigged against you. And it's time to wake up to that reality and think about the solutions to it. The solutions to it. If this is a new financial system and it's a new asset class, are you really selling the asset of the future to go into debt in the old system? Like, I'm pretty certain, I'm pretty certain that people are going to be taking wind moon profits and buying houses and buying cars and buying real estate. Pretty certain. What's going on, Ski Mask? How are you, my friend, Ski Mask Citizen? Right? I don't know. Am I wrong? Or is it good, especially XRP holders, right? Been waiting for a minute. Am I wrong? They're going to be taking profit. They're going to go buy real estate, right? They're going to go buy investment properties. They're going to go buy cars. And that's awesome. But do you know in that system what's really going on? When you, right? When you decide to go buy a house, dream home, all that kind of stuff, awesome. But do you really know what's going on with that loan in that system? Do you really know? Some of you guys are going to take some of this Win Moon money and you're going to pay off credit card debt. You're going to take the assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, your XRP, the premier assets, turn it into inferior money, and then get into back into that financial debt system. And you're like, well, we've been waiting, Win Moon, right? Nothing wrong. But do you understand the game you're playing? Like, do you really know? When you get sold on the interest, when you go interest rate hunting for your house, do you really know what's going on? Are you paying attention to the real interest? The real interest. When you go shopping for a car, you don't want to put all your money to buy the car off cash because maybe there's better financial opportunity to do with the cash, and you finance the car. What's your first consideration? A lot of people, they think payment, they think interest rate. But do you know what the real interest rate is? Like there's a system, right? So just understand this: the banks, right? The banks, Visa and Mastercard, the banks, Visa and Mastercard, they go out and hire people, right? They go out and hire people to figure out ways how to extract more of your money by way of interest. And it's not the interest rate alone that is killing you. Now, if you know and you're prepared and you know how to deal with it, cool. But if you don't, just understand what just happened. You sold your superior assets for inferior assets and you hopped into their constructed debt system. It's constructed to steal value from you. And well, what's the answer? There's an answer to that. The answer is beating them at their debt system with the inferior money, in my opinion. You guys got to do counsel. You got to, check with some people to find out for sure. You take the inferior form of money and figure out how to flip that debt interest thing on upside down so it works in your favor, right? So for a lot of people, if you just have an income, you can do it. Like an income, like income, whatever that income is. If you have an income, 3,000 a month, 4,000 a month, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 15,000, 20,000, whatever it is. If you have an income, you can flip that. You can twist it. You know how they say, don't get it twisted. You can twist the game on them, and you're using the inferior income that you got coming in because it's an inferior asset, and you beat them with that system. You beat them with that. Easy to do. As opposed, maybe, I don't know, you got this valuable thing like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like XRP, like Solana. You got Hedera Hashgraph and XLM. Okay, I mean, are we good on those are superior assets or no? Like, are we good that those are really the superior assets and those are the assets of the future? Like, there's a way to beat that system, the dirty, nasty debt fiat system. You can turn the game on them using the income that you got, as opposed to, I don't know, not telling anyone to do it, as opposed to using the superior asset. If you're considering it for those kind of things, getting a house mortgage, buying investment properties. You know, the biggest people in interest rate or interest debt, you know what the biggest group is? Real estate investors. Real estate investors, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 properties, all financed under the guise of, oh, look at that. Look how cool I am with this interest rate. Yep, because they didn't know. Because they got sold just like the rest of us. You ever notice? I mean, I always want you to think about it for a second. Think about this for a second, Rick Cisneros. What are most people thinking about when they go buy a home? Do you know that most people, when they go to buy and or build a home, are thinking more about the rate that they can get than the design of the home? That is a fact. Why? Because this is what we've been fed. What do you think the Federal Reserve is doing? It's all it is just feeding you a thought of something that is important. They're feeding you inflation. It's a constant feed, a constant feed, a constant feed. Well, what was the feed that you got growing up? What was that constant feed? You remember? Go to school, get a good job, and get a home. The three biggest drainers of your life: going to school, worse, going to college, right? Getting a job, right? Last I checked, if you're off at the job, you're not home with the family. and then get a home. Think about that. Think about those three things. Who said that buying a home was the American dream? Where did that message come from? Do you think that was on accident? Do you think that message feed was on accident? I encourage you to get the book Propaganda if you think it was just on accident. Nothing wrong with getting home. But if you don't know that game, and if you don't understand that it is a fact that the banking cartel hires people, and this is including Visa and MasterCard, to come up with more ways to take your money, take your cash flow by way of interest. Ski Mask Citizen says 100%. Like it's intentional. And it's been intentional for a long, long time. Right. And if you become hip to the game, then that's one thing. If you understand the game, instead of a 30-year mortgage, you have a 5-year mortgage or a 7-year mortgage. If you understand that, cool, because now you got a 5 or 7-year mortgage. But if you don't understand it and you're hanging around and you're sharing your, what do I want to say? You get around the barbecue with your neighbors and you're talking about your 2% loan on your mortgage, you don't really understand. If you pull the if you look underneath the hood, that's really about 40%. And God forbid you have a student loan or a parent student loan or an SBA loan. And here's the reality of it. Most people don't know because the only thing we've been sold on, like we're being sold on inflation, is the interest rate. That's the only thing you need to check. Look, all you got to do is check. Then look, just check that rate, man. Check that rate. Make sure you get a good rate. Well, don't you think that the people behind it are going to say, well, we're going to have to figure out some other thing, like the average daily periodic rate. We're going to have to figure out some other stuff. We'll flash that rate at them, but we're going to charge this other stuff underneath. Check your credit cards. Check your credit cards. And I say that because when I see Rand Paul talk about the Federal Reserve Bank is paying banks not to loan you or I money, why are we going back into that thing? Again, we all want to celebrate one moon. We'll be taking profit, but we'll be taking profit and armed, right, with this thing on our tool belt. Say, yeah, I appreciate that rate, but what's this rate? Yeah, I appreciate that you're selling me on this rate, but what's this rate? What's really going to happen? What's going to be the total expenditure after 30 years? Really? Oh, okay, cool. Well, I got an answer for that. I just wanted to see if you're going to tell me the real truth. Now, here's the other part that's fascinating. When you go to the car dealership and you sit down with the finance manager person, they don't know either. They don't know either. They don't even know where they get their money for the financing. When you go finance a car, it's not Toyota who has the finance. They get the money from somewhere else in blocks of cash from places like whole life policy insurance companies. That's not their money, right? You got to know the game. You got to know the game that you're in. And if you can win that game, if you can figure out amortization and schedules, if you can learn the difference between a loan and a line of credit and things like that, if you know the game and you learn the game, then you can beat them at their game. But I'm not sure. We're not taking the valuable asset. I'll just say that. We're not going to take the valuable asset to do it. We're going to take the income that's already being generated from the fiat system and tackle that interest. We're going to keep the valuable asset in the valuable and new financial system, at least the 90% of it. Rick Cisneros says, CJ, when I sell, it's going into stable coins, not dirty, nasty fiat. I hear you, my friend. We'll be doing a mix of Bitcoin and stables. That's our goal. Not financial advice, not telling you guys what to do with your money, it's your profits. You should do what you think is best for you. Right. And I can't wait. We're doing some studying for sure and learning more and more about this so that we can share with you guys. But it's an awakening. And I think, the biggest awakening is how um, a message can be put out to the masses and then the masses accept the message. I'll never forget. This was years ago, maybe 6 years ago. I remember hearing, I remember watching Grant Cardone, and I remember him. He made a statement, and he had this look on his face like, "Oh snap, maybe I shouldn't have said that." When he said it, right? Think about Grant Cardone, right? Billions and billions of dollars in real estate, right? He said, "Buying a house is not a good investment." He said most people should be renting. I remember him saying that. I'm thinking, what, dude? You buy a bunch of houses, right? And the reason why he was saying it is because he knew that most people did not know what's baked underneath the hood of a mortgage. And he had that, like he had that, like you make a statement, you have this, like, then you smile, like, oh, yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, it was one of those. I remember that. And again, I think it's not someone's fault until they know and they learn what the real game is, and then they don't act on it. Then it's their fault. But if you don't know, you don't know. Everyone's been sold. A lot of people come to this country to go to school, good grades, get a job, and buy a freaking home. Like there's some there's some populations coming here. They're coming here legally and they're coming in masses and real smart, like really, really smart. Um, uh, really, really smart. Okay. Especially in this part of the country, all kinds of degrees, and they're getting I don't know, pretty high paying jobs, maybe a couple hundred K. I don't know if that's high paying anymore, but a couple hundred K jobs and running to the lenders to get 30-year mortgages and get 4-year car loans because of the income they got. And the only focus that they have is on the rate of both of those. Yeah. Just focus on the rate. Rick says, CJ, I remember him saying it. Yeah. I'll never forget him saying that. But anyway, that's just some education, some food for thought. Because we got a United States Senator in 2025 telling the American people that the Federal Reserve is paying the banks not to give you access to cash. I mean, just think about that, right? Remember the Federal Reserve, they pulled old money, pulled a hoodwink and bamboozle on Congress way back yonder and positioned themselves up ahead of Congress by offering to pay the United States government and help them finance that war. With this caveat of we're gonna take this little thing, we're gonna that's how you're gonna pay us. Take this little thing and draw it from the people. That's a fact. That happened. And Congress got wind of it too late. And it was it. That was it. Right? That's why the Federal Reserve Chairman can smirk and grin and give the the pink eye, the left eye, the stink eye to the President of the United States without repercussion, without batting an eye to the Commander in Chief of arguably the most powerful nation in the world. You just get look. What are you saying, dude? What are you saying to me? That's what this dude who's unelected, did to the person that we chose to be Commander in Chief. I don't know if you really want to think about that. Something to think about, for sure. Something to think about, for sure. I found that to be fascinating. Let me see if I want to share this Caitlin Long thing with you guys. It's not. There's no accident. She's getting loud while also slamming Powell. Okay, let me share this real quick. Well, I'm glad somebody's slamming Powell. I'm glad someone is. Caitlin Long said this. It's no accident that she's getting loud, talking about Senator Lummis, while also slamming Powell's role in Operation Choke Point 2.0. Wyoming had a multi-year lead in crypto, which Powell's Fed crushed while protecting powerful incumbents. When she publicly reviewed the Fed's secret handbook, which had the Fed awarding itself power to the bank over the amorphous terms, quote unquote, controversial activities and quote unquote, controversial comments. When she publicly revealed the Fed's secret handbook, which had the Fed award itself power. Great book, great read is the Tower of Basil. Well, Basil, it's a great read. The inception, the creation of the BIS. Great read. All right, let's take a listen here to Senator Lummis. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I gotta share the right way. Stop the share, share sound. All right, all right. See if I can't get this.
Over here, he was not under oath. It's still, regardless of whether you're under oath or not.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has referred Jay Powell, here of the Federal Reserve, to the Justice Department for perjury charges. Cynthia Lummis is the Republican senator from Wyoming and joins me now. Senator, going after Powell because you don't agree with his pace of rate cuts, charging him with perjury, a criminal offense, lying to Congress, isn't that a bit strong just because you don't like his interest rate policy?
Well, I am concerned about the way he handled Choke Point 2.0. The way that they went after banks that were solvent and drove them into insolvency. The way that the Fed has dealt with using subjective determinations about what banks should be financing, oil, gas, coal, energy that certain aspects of our economy doesn't approve of. These are the bigger concerns I have about Jay Powell and the manner in which bank supervision has been conducted. In addition to that, we do know that there were a lot of weasel words used when Jay Powell testified in front of Congress about the 39% cost overruns, $700 million in cost overruns to remodel the building at the Federal Reserve, and the way in which terms were used like, oh, we have a green roof, not that they have a garden terrace. There were mistakes that Jay Powell made. Do they rise to the extent of perjury? Certainly not in the Senate, because it's very hard to prove perjury. In addition to that, when Jay Powell testified over here, he was not under oath. It's still, regardless of whether you're under oath or not, it is against the law to mislead Congress, tough to prove.
It's against the law, but it's tough to prove, which is interesting. So in any case, right? So, when they say the banks are not your friend, this is kind of the deal there, right? And this is, again, we got to think about behind old money. So Goldman's, JP Morgan, right? The people behind this old money, that is the thing, I think, to pay most attention to. Great thing, there are some answers. We got this new financial system that is awesome again. But I was just thinking about this with Miss CryptoCeej last week, a couple of weeks ago. Just thinking about, that a lot of people, they're going to be taking profits and they're going to be going into some kind of form of debt, right? Some kind of form of debt. And, there's a difference between going into debt and using debt wisely. And if you don't understand it, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Like, I remember years ago also hearing this. This person said, gosh, I don't know. I think I was still in traffic control with it. Yeah. So I remember, so I had this income, right? And I remember this person said, I never pay anything with my own money. I always use my credit cards. Like he said, I never use my debit cards. I use my credit cards. This was 12 years ago, maybe something like that. Like, what? Because what the thinking was, credit card debt bad, right? Remember that? Credit card debt bad. Use your cash. Remember, this is but never really said what a credit card actually is. Or, for example, a lot of people do this. They go into the lender. They've been a lender for a minute. They want to take equity out or whatever they want to do. And notice that the bank managers and stuff will say, get a loan as opposed to getting a home equity line of credit. Get a loan as opposed to getting a personal line of credit. Why? Because the home equity line of credit or a personal line of credit is a better instrument tool for you and I. The loan is the bank's tool. But just, pay attention to that. Try to talk you or your young child going to do something. They'll lean into that loan. Why don't you just get a loan here? They won't do the line of credit. Well, they'll say this, they'll pull this little trick. Oh my goodness, we could just get you this loan at 4%. Line of credit it's double that. Line of credit is 10%. Line of credit is 11 to 12%. But they don't tell you about the schedules of payments in a loan that significantly smash you as compared to a line of credit because they operate differently. They don't tell you that. But that is the truth. So, in any case, I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm a big DeFi guy. You guys know that for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. But because I think DeFi is without question the answer, and there'll be more and more instruments and stuff available to us for sure, right? But we got to know about that old system, and it's for me, it was just food for thought. Am I going to take the superior assets, even if it's a stable coin? Am I going to take that and do something there, or do I have income already in the dirty, nasty fiat system that I can use to flip credit card debt or home debt or car debt around in my favor? Because if I can do that with that system, right? I'm just going to hang out here with the superior assets and stable coins and Bitcoin and get yield and do other things that I can do over here, create cash flow. And I'll just use this income. I mean, I'm working anyway. I'm working anyway. Right? I got a job, I got income anyway over here in this fiat system. Let me get the right tool in the tool belt, and I'll tackle those debts that way, and I'll keep my assets. Tools out there, for sure. Rick Cisnell says credit card debt is OPM, other people's money. Right? Well, right? And credit card is a line of credit. It's a line of credit. A lot of people don't think it's a line of credit, but it's a line of credit. And when used properly with education on how to use it, it can be a powerful, powerful, powerful weapon. But we were never taught that. We were never taught it. It doesn't mean that wanting to get a nice credit score is bad. Nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a good credit score, for sure. But if you know how to flip that script on them, the credit score takes care of itself, right? Yep. So what's going on, Kevin Land? How are you, my friend? Life is good. Flare Networks, Hugo talking about there's a stable coin being built on Flare Networks that's going to be backed by XRP. I'm going to share this post one more time before I hop off here. I mean, this was like, what? Here it is. Phil, him and his brother, they got this thing called EZA, the EZA app, right? Phil says, I've been thinking a stable coin, but backed by XRP equals the hardest money ever known. And Hugo responded this morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it's already being built on Flare. Bullish. So what I'm saying, that, my friends, is bullish. Guys, do me a favor. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That'd be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ski Mask Citizen. Where do you see FLR going in 2026? You mean price? I don't know. Um, I'm not good with the prices thing. I think it for if 15 cents was the previous all-time high, I just feel like 25, 30 cents is more than reasonable. But that's just me. That's just me. Like I don't know, but that's just me. I'm not a price guy. Mastermind 5, what's going on, my friend? Says, damn great advice, CJ. Where have you been all these years? I feel like I missed out. DAI, digital asset investor, didn't teach me all this. Yeah. Yeah. Look, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. The hoodwink and bamboozle was placed on all of us. Financial advisors, RIAs. The hoodwink and bamboozle was put on everybody. I feel bad for financial planners. I feel bad for wealth managers. I really, really do. Especially RIAs. Like, especially. Financial planners and RIAs are really like air traffic controllers in that they're boxed in. What do I want? Like they're enclosed. You'll find that financial planners and RIAs are like they're in their own thing here. Right? They're enclosed in this box. And they just get fed stuff. And it's coming from, this thing up top here with JP Morgan and Goldman's and BlackRock's and Vanguard ultimately own. They ultimately own it and they feed it into RIAs and financial planners. And you're just kind of boxed in. That's why I liken it to air traffic controllers. Like the air traffic control group is so small. It's like this small group. It's a small bunch of us, like 15th. It's not enough, first of all. Right. And then you talk about the ones at the highest levels, we're in a really, really small group. Right. But I feel bad. I really feel bad for financial planners and these RIAs. I feel bad. Pushing stuff. There's no reason that it should cost thousands and thousands of dollars for an LLC. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for LLC. No reason. Trust, perhaps. LLC? Anyway, I digress. Rachel W., you're welcome, my friend. Oh, what's that say? The McBack 88 just bought Flare for the first time. How about that? Congratulations, my friend. Why is it so cheap at 2 cents? Is it new crypto? No, it's been around for a minute. They've been building for a while. The blockchain, FLR, the token is the native asset of the blockchain Flare Network. Flare Networks is a layer 1 EVM blockchain with very novel features to it. Enshrined protocols like the FTSO and FTC. Doing things, I think, in a completely unique way that it's going to separate it as a blockchain. But the value, as we like to say, as Mr. Hutcherson would say, the value is in the protocol, right? The value is in the protocol, what the protocol can do. And ultimately, the asset gains more value because of network adoption of the protocol. That's how it works. Metcalfe's law for sure. So, kind of how I see it. Kind of how I see it, fam. All right, man. Look, I appreciate you guys checking in. I'm gonna try to go get some snacks or something, some dessert or something. I think I'm deserving. I've been doing yogurt, blueberries. Gonna go grab some snacks, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, fam. My eye keeps tearing out all the time. I appreciate you guys checking in again. Happy Saturday. The news on the street. Floyd Networks is building out a stable coin that's backed by XRP. Now, is it USDT zero? I don't know. I don't know. But stable coin backed by XRP on Flare Networks. That is great news, fam. That is great news. Can't wait to see what it's going to ultimately look like. But it's coming. It's being built out, I should say. It's being built out. And Hugo just said that today. All right, fam. Thank you so much for checking in, hanging out. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. That's one of the greatest ways to support the channel. It helps to get the channel out to more people who don't know Rick Cisnero, that a new financial system is being built right underneath their nose, that there is inferior money and there is superior money. And, we can let them know, hitting that like button. For sure, to get this channel out to more people. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the CryptoCeej, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.